So hello student, today we are going to study chapter 19, that is chemical coordination and integration. You have already learned that the neural system provides a point-to-point rapid coordination among organs. The neural coordination is fast but short-lived, as the nerve fiber do not innervate all cells of the body, and the cellular functions need to be continuously regulated. A special kind of coordination and integration has to be provided. This function is carried out by hormones. The neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and regulate the physiological functions in the body. Endocrine glands and hormones. Endocrine glands lack ducts and are hence called ductless glands. Their secretion are called hormones. The classical definition of hormone as a chemical produced by endocrine gland and released into the blood and transported to a distantly located target organ has current scientific definition as follows. Hormones are nutrient chemicals which act as intercellular messenger and are produced in trace amounts. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to the hormones secreted by the organized endocrine glands. Invertebrates possess a very simple endocrine system with few hormones, whereas a large number of chemical act as hormones and provide coordination in the vertebrate. The human endocrine system is described here. Human human endocrine system. The endocrine glands are and hormone producing diffused tissues or cells located in different part of our body constitute the endocrine system. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, and gonads. Testes in males and ovaries in females are the organized endocrine bodies in our body. In addition to these, some other organs, for example, gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart also produce hormones. A brief account of structure and function of all major endocrine glands and hypothalamus of the human body is given in the following section. The hypothalamus. As you know, hypothalamus is the basal part of diencephalon forebrain, and it regulates a wide spectrum of body function. It contains several group of neurosecretory cells called nuclei, which produce hormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. However, the hormones produced by hypothalamus are of two types: the releasing hormone, which stimulates secretion of pituitary hormones, and the inhibiting hormones, which inhibit secretion of pituitary hormones. For example, hypothalamic hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH stimulate the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotrophins. On the other hand, somatostatin from the hypothalamus inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. These hormones originating in the hypothalamic neurons pass through axons and are released from the nerve ending. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through portal circulatory system and regulate the functions of anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is located in the bony cavity called sella turcica and is attached to hypothalamus by a stalk. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and a neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis consists of two portions, pars distalis and pars intermedia. The pars distalis region of pituitary, commonly called anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, adrenocorticotropic hormone STH, ASTH, luteinizing hormone LH, follicle stimulating hormone PARS, intermedia secretes only one hormone called melanocyte stimulating hormone, that is MSH. However, in human, the pars intermediate almost merge with pars distalis. Neurohypophysis pars nervosa, also known as posterior pituitary, stores and releases two hormones called oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and are transported externally to neurohypophysis. Over secretion of GH stimulate abnormal growth of body, leading to giantism. Z- Zesantism, and low secretion of GH and stunted growth, resulting in pituitary dwarfism. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially middle age, can result in severe disfigurement, especially of face called acromegaly, which may lead to serious complication and premature death if unchecked. The disease is hard to diagnose in early stage and often goes undetected for many years until changes in external feature become noticeable. Prolactin regulate the growth of mammary glands and formation of milk in them. TSH stimulate the uh, synthesis of and secretion of thyroid hormone from the thyroid gland. ACTH stimulate the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormones called glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. LH and FHS stimulate gonadal activity and hence are called gonadotrophins. In males, LH stimulate the synthesis and secretion of hormones called androgens from testes in males. FSH androgen regulate spermatogenesis. In females, LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicle, Graphian follicles, and maintain the corpus luteum formed from the remnants of Graphian follicles of after ovulation. FSH stimulate growth and development of ovarian follicles in females. MSH act on melanocytes, melanin containing cells, and regulate pigmentation of the skin. Oxytocin act as a smooth muscle of our body and stimulate their contraction. In female, it stimulates a vigorous contraction of uterus at the time of childbirth and milk ejection from the mammary gland. Vasopressin acts mainly at the kidney and stimulates resorption of water and electrolytes by the distal tubules and thereby reduces loss of water through urine. Diuresis. Hence, it is also called antidiuretic hormone. An impairment affecting synthesis or release of ADH results in diminished ability of the kidney to conserve water, leading to water loss and dehydration. This condition is known as diabetes insipidus. The pineal gland. The pineal gland is located on the dorsal side of forebrain. Pineal secretes a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin plays a very important role in regulation of a 24-hour rhythm of our body. For example, it helps in maintaining the normal rhythm of sleep-wake cycle, body temperature. In addition, melatonin is also influences metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is composed of two lobes which are located on either side of trachea. Both the lobes are interconnected with a thin lamp of connective tissue called isthmus. The thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues. Each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity. These follicular cells synthesize two hormones, tetraiodothyronine or thyroxine, and triiodothyronine T3, T4, and T3. Iodine is essential for the normal rate of hormone synthesis in the thyroid. Deficiency of iodine in our diet result in hypothyroidism and enlargement of thyroid gland, commonly called goiter. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of growing baby, leading to stunted growth. Cretinism, mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, abnormal skin, deafmutism, etc. In adult women, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular. Due to cancer of the thyroid gland or due to development of nodules of the thyroid gland, the rate of synthesis of secretion of thyroid hormones is increased by abnormal high levels, leading to condition called hyperthyroidism, which adversely affect the body physiology. Exothalamic goiter is form of hyperthyroidism characterized by enlargement of the thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate, and weight loss, also called Graves' disease. Thyroid hormone plays an important role in the regulation of the basal metabolic rate. These hormones also support the process of red blood cell formation. Thyroid hormone control the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Maintenance of water and electrolyte balance is also influenced by thyroid hormone. Thyroid gland also secretes a protein hormone called TCT, thyrocalcitonin, which regulates the blood calcium level. Parathyroid gland. In humans, four parathyroid glands are present on the back side of thyroid gland, one pair of each in two lobes of thyroid gland. The parathyroid gland secrete a peptide hormone called parathyroid hormone. The secretion of PTH is regulated by circulating levels of calcium ions. Parathyroid hormone PTH increases the Ca2 plus levels in blood. PTH acts on bones and stimulates the process of bone resorption, dissolution, or demineralization. PTH also stimulates reabsorption of Ca2 plus by the renal tubules and increase Ca2 plus absorption from the digested food. It is just thus clear that PTH is hypercalcemic hormone. It means it increases the blood Ca2 plus level. Along with obesity, it plays a significant role in calcium balance in the body. Thymus. The thymus gland is a lobular structure located between lungs behind sternum and on the ventral side of aorta. The thymus plays a major role in the development of the immune system. This gland secretes the peptide hormone called thymosin. Thymosin plays a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocytes, which provide cell-mediated immunity. In addition, thymosins also promote production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. Thymus is degenerated in old individuals, resulting in decreased production of thymosins. As a result, the immune responses of old person become weak. Adrenal gland.
Adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal glands, one above the each kidney. The gland is composed of two types of tissues. The centrally located tissue is called adrenal medulla, and outside this lies the adrenal cortex. Underproduction of hormones by the adrenal cortex alters carbohydrate metabolism, causing the acute weakness and fatigue, leading to the disease called Addison's disease. The adrenal medulla secretes two hormones called adrenaline or epinephrine and noradrenaline or norepinephrine. These are commonly called catecholamines. Catecholamines, adrenaline and noradrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind of and during emergency situations under emergency called emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight. These hormones increase alertness, pupillary dilation, piloerection, sweating, etc. Both the hormones increase the heartbeat, the strength of heart contraction, and rate of respiration. Catecholamines also stimulate the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in an increased concentration of glucose in the blood. In addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. The adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers called zona reticularis, inner layer, zona fasciculata, middle layer, and zona glomerulosa, outer layer. The adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called corticoids. The corticoids, which are involved in carbohydrate metabolism, are called glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the mainly corticoids which regulate the balance of water and electrolytes in our body are called mineral mineralocorticoids. Aldosterone is the main mineral corticoid in our body. Glucocorticoid stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, and proteolysis and inhibit cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produce anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune response. Cortisol stimulates the RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly at the renal tubules and stimulates the reabsorption of Na plus and water and the excretion of K plus and phosphate ions. Thus, aldosterone helps in the maintenance of electrolytes, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, and blood pressure. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are also secreted by adrenal gland cortex, which plays a role in growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. Third is next is pancreas. Pancreas is a composite gland which acts as both exocrine and endocrine gland. The endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. There are about 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas, representing only 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. The two main types of cells in the islet of Langerhans are called alpha cells and beta cells. The alpha cells secrete a hormone called glucagon, while the beta cells secrete insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and plays an important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose levels. Glucagon acts mainly as the on the liver, hepatocytes, and stimulates genolysis, resulting in an increased blood sugar hyperglycemia. In addition, this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contributes to hyperglycemia. Glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Thus, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. Insulin is a peptide hormone which plays a major role in the regulation of glucose homeostasis. Insulin acts mainly on the hepatocytes and adipocyte cells of adipose tissue and enhances cellular glucose uptake and utilization. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose levels. Insulin also stimulates conversion of glucose to glycogenesis in the target cells. The glucose homeostasis in blood is thus maintained jointly by two insulin and glucagons. Prolonged hyperglycemia leads to complex disorder called diabetes mellitus, which is associated with loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds known as ketone bodies. Diabetic patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy. Testis. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac, outside abdomen of male individuals. Testis performs dual functions as a primary sex organ as well as an endocrine gland. Testis is composed of seminiferous tubules and stromal interstitial tissue. A leading a leading cell or interstitial cells which are present in the intertubular spaces produce a group of hormones called androgens, mainly testosterone. Androgen regulates the development, maturation, and functions of the male accessory sex organs like epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, urethra, etc. These hormones stimulate muscular growth, growth of facial and auxiliary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch of voice. Androgens play a major instrumentally role in the process of spermatogenesis. Androgens act on the central nervous system and influence the male sexual behavior, libido. These hormones produce anabolic effects on proteins and carbohydrate metabolism. Next is ovary. Female have a pair of ovaries located in the abdomen. Ovary is a primary female sex organ which produces one ovum during each menstrual cycle. In addition, ovary also produces two groups of steroid hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovary follicles and stromal tissues. The estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing ovarian follicles. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle is converted to a structure called corpus luteum, which secretes mainly progesterone. Estrogens produce wide ranging actions such as stimulation of growth and activities of female secondary sex organs, development of growing ovarian follicles, appearance of female secondary sex characters, high pitch of voice, and mammary gland development. Estrogens also regulate female sexual behavior. Progesterone supports pregnancy. Progesterone also acts on the mammary glands and stimulates the formation of alveoli and milk secretion. Next is hormones and of heart, kidney, and gastrointestinal tract. Now you know about the endocrine glands and their hormones. However, as mentioned earlier, hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine gland. For example, the atrial wall of our heart secretes a very important peptide hormone called natriuretic factor ANF, which decreases blood pressure. When blood pressure is increased, ANF is secreted, which causes dilation of blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. The juxtaglomerular cells of kidney produce peptide hormone called erythropoietin, which stimulates erythropoiesis. Endocrine cells present in different parts of the gastrointestinal tract secrete four major peptide hormones, namely gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, and gastric inhibitory peptide. Gastrin acts on the gastric glands and stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen. Secretin acts on the exocrine pancreas and stimulates secretion of water and bicarbonate ions. CCK acts on both pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzymes and bile juice, respectively. GIP inhibits, it means gastric inhibitory peptide, inhibits gastric secretion and motility. Several other non-endocrines secrete hormone called growth factors. These factors are essential for normal growth of tissues and their repairing or regeneration. Mechanism of hormone action. Hormones produce their effects on target tissues by binding to specific proteins called hormone receptors located in the target tissues only. Hormone receptors present on the cell membrane of the target cells are called membrane bound receptors, and the receptors present inside the target cell are called intracellular receptors, mostly nuclear receptors present in the nucleus. Binding of the hormone to its receptor leads to formation of hormone receptor complex. Each receptor is a specific to one hormone only, and hence receptors are specific. Hormone receptor complex formation leads to certain biochemical changes in the target tissue metabolism, and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormones can be divided into groups. First is peptide, polypeptide protein hormones, example insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, etc. Steroids, example cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, and progesterone. Iodothyronins, thyroid hormones, amino acid derivatives, epinephrine. Sorry. Hormones which interact with membrane bound receptors normally do not enter the target cell but generate second messengers, which in turn regulate cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with intracellular receptors, hormones, uh, iodothyronins, mostly regulate gene expression or chromosome function by the interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. The cumulative biochemical actions result in physiological and development effects. Then comes the summary, which is the last part of this chapter. There are special chemicals which act as hormones and provide chemical coordination, integration, and regulation in the human body. These hormones regulate metabolism, growth, and development of our organs. The endocrine glands or certain cells. The endocrine system is composed of hypothalamus, pituitary, and pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, and gonads, testes, and ovary. In addition to these, some other organs, example gastrointestinal tract, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. The pituitary gland is divided into three major parts, which are called pars distalis, pars intermedia, and pars nervosa. Pars distalis produces six trophic hormones. Pars intermedia secretes only one hormone, while pairs nervosa hypophysis secretes two hormones. The pituitary hormone regulates the growth and development of somatic tissues and activities of peripheral endocrine glands. Pineal gland secretes melatonin, which plays a very important role in the regulation of 24-hour diurnal rhythms of our body, rhythms of sleep and state of being awake, body temperature. The thyroid gland hormones play an important role in the regulation of basal metabolic rate, development and maturation of central neural system. One second. Okay. Development and maturation of the central nervous system, erythropoiesis, metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, menstrual cycle. Another thyroid hormone, it means thyrocalcitonin, regulates calcium levels in our blood by decreasing it. The parathyroid gland secretes parathyroid hormone, which increases the blood Ca2 plus levels and plays a major role in calcium homeostasis. The thymus gland secretes thymogens, which play a major role in differentiation of T lymphocytes, which provide cell mediated immunity. In addition, thymogens also increase the production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. The adrenal gland is composed of centrally located and adrenal medulla on the outer adrenal cortex. The adrenal medulla secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine. These hormones increase alertness, pupillary dilation, polyerection, sweating heartbeat, strength of heart contraction, rate of respiration, glycogenolysis, lipolysis, and here uh, it is proteolysis. Okay. Uh, Proteolysis, the adrenal cortex secrete glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis, erythropoiesis, cardiovascular system, blood pressure, and glomerular filtration rate, and inhibit inflammatory reactions by suppressing the immune response. Mineralocorticoids regulate water and electrolyte contents of the body. The endocrine pancreas secretes glucagon and insulin. Glucagon stimulates glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis, resulting in hyperglycemia. Insulin stimulates the cellular glucose uptake, utilization, and glycogenesis, resulting in the hyperglycemia. Insulin deficiency and or insulin resistance result in a disease called diabetes mellitus. The testis secretes androgens which stimulate the development, maturation, and functions of male accessory sex organs. Appearance of male secondary sex characters, spermatogenesis, male sexual behavior, anabolic pathways, erythropoiesis. The ovary secrete estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen stimulates growth and development of female accessory sex organs and secondary sex and characters. Progesterone plays a major role in the maintenance of pregnancy as well as in mammary gland development and lactation. The atrial wall of heart produces natriuretic factor which decreases the blood pressure. Kidney produces erythropoietin, which stimulates erythropoiesis. The gastrointestinal tract secretes gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, and gastric inhibitory peptide. These hormones regulate secretion of digestive juices and help in digestion. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.